Before this hearing even begins, you can already feel the tension building. A young defendant, multiple charges, and a judge who's clearly had enough. What started as an on-and-off relationship has now spiraled into something far more serious. Allegations involving threats, a firearm, and repeated violations while already out on bond. And here's where things get intense. This isn't just about one mistake. The court is looking at a pattern: evading arrest, criminal mischief, aggravated assault, and now a terroristic threat. But what really stands out is the escalation.
We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney. Shh! You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The defendant is the complainant's ex-boyfriend. During a walk-in report, the complainant told the officers that her and the defendant had an on and off dating relationship since the 8th grade, but they broke up in June 2024. In September, the defendant told the complainant, "Stop talking all that mess before I come to your house and fucking shoot you." The complainant told the officers that right after the incident, the defendant sent her photos of a gun in his lap. The complainant stated the defendant also told one of the complainant's friends that he was going to shoot the complainant.
So, tell me about the ag assault. What happened there?
Your Honor, in the ag assault, one moment.
In the criminal mischief, is it with the same complaining witness as well?
The criminal mischief's from a prior event where we had experimented trying a drug and kind of got crazy and broke stuff with it.
Yes, Your Honor. And then for the aggravated
Completely
assault,
unrelated.
it says the complainant and her friends went to a party, and at the party they saw the defendant trying to get in, but was ultimately turned away because too many people were there already. While walking, the complainant ignored the defendant, and the defendant stated, "Are you going to apologize?" And the complainant kept walking. The defendant began cussing at the complainant and said, "I got it on me." And the complainant said at that time, the defendant got a pistol from his ankle and pointed it at her. And then witnesses corroborated the complainant's statement. And Your Honor, there's also a pending terroristic threat out of Galveston as well for the same complaining witness. Yes.
Did you know about this?
I did not know about that.
Do you have an open case in Galveston as well? I think, Mr. Poole, that you are a complete and utter danger to our society. And I'm going to do everything in my power to protect Harris County from anyone that does any kind of damage whatsoever. I am now revoking your bonds on both of your other cases. Goes with you.
Right here is where things take a darker turn. It's one thing to argue or even exchange harsh words in relationship, but when threats involve a weapon, the situation shifts into something far more dangerous. The allegation that he not only threatened her, but then followed it up by sending photos of a gun? That adds a whole new level of seriousness. And think about this, if someone is willing to reinforce their words with imagery like that, what message are they trying to send? Fear, control, intimidation. That's exactly why courts treat these cases so aggressively. What makes it even more concerning is that the threat wasn't isolated, it was allegedly repeated to friends.
I'm sorry. As much as I love you, it's unacceptable the way things have been going. And I think that you don't get the message. And now I hope you do. But I am now going to give you home confinement. You're not allowed out if you bond out of jail. I'm going to make your bond sky high. I think that you're a complete and utter danger to everyone. You flaunt our bond conditions. And it's truly sad, Mr. Poole, because you have but one life. And when you have a gun and when you start using that, God forbid that you do some irreparable damage, that you dig yourself into a hole where you're looking at 50 to 60 years in prison, perhaps life.
Sir?
99% of people that are in jail are there because they have no self-control. They either use something, they are on something, and they get upset. They wig out without thinking, if I say this, what's going to happen? If I do this, what's going to happen? It's unacceptable. And now, I will do everything, like I said, in my power to protect Harris County. So if you do get out, you must remain home confinement. You're not allowed out. No weapons, no contact with any of the complaining witnesses whatsoever, no dope, no alcohol. Anything else? I mean, What does he do?
He's a student, Judge. He's a high school student. So
I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, he scares me.
understood. And Chip and I are going to put some things together. I think that there's a different scenario really going on than what this reflects in the probable cause statements. And we're going to bring that to the prosecutors.
If you have something that shows me different to what they have, I'm all ears.
Understood.
You know,
And with your permission, Judge, if we'll get some time to put that stuff together, we can perhaps readdress the bond.
yeah, absolutely. And I never want to see a kid lose out on school, you know, because to me, it's the most important thing in life, you know?
Understood. If we do home confinement, can there be an exception to that when he's at school and he just has to report immediately back to his home?
Is he like in high school?
He's a high school student.
Can I ask you?
I mean,
Yeah, Judge, he's actually currently, because of this situation, doing online school, so he'll be able to go from home.
Oh, okay, good.
Disregard.
There we go. Are you mom and dad? Come on up. Come up.
Come over closer.
Thank you so much for coming. Shh. It's out of control. I don't know what else to do. But it seems that when he's out in public and he's out, you know, partying, as they say, there's a wake of trouble. Did you guys know that he has a case in Galveston as well?
No, Your Honor, this is the first time I've heard of that.
Is it currently open?
It's currently open, Your Honor.
Something that the lawyers are also unaware of as well, you know?
We think it's all one event that happened over a few hours. We don't know.
But it's not though. It's not. He's, you know, 12 in December of 23, you know, we have a criminal mischief, an evading arrest. Now a couple months later, we've got Galveston. It's not. And I think that we need to really give him a wake-up call before he really does irreparable damage, you know?
If I could just clarify, the two events here in Harris and the one event in Galveston, we think that was all in the one series of events that happened between a football game and a party on a hotel.
We need to figure out what's going on, you know, to figure out why it's continuing to happen. And, you know, I want what's best for your son. I really do. And I will help you in any way that I can. I have to put him in custody today because I have to show him that it's unacceptable what he's doing and picking up these tuna cases, especially the fact that he's picked up an aggravated assault. That's, you know, you've got a great lawyer. We'll be here to figure it out with you.
And Judge, he's already addressed the bond on the felon case as well. So he's gone in and addressed it with the felon. We're just
Bond, huh?
understood.
So I'm making your bonds $30,000 each. I don't know if they're going to bond you out, but you know. If you do get out, you better be on your best behavior. And you are not to go anywhere. What I'd like to do is, you know, I'm going to take him in now. I'd like to do an evaluation. It's called a TRAS to see what the best way of going forward. You know, we have clinicians that can sit there and evaluate him, talk to him, figure out what's going on, and you know, perhaps boot camp is the right way. Perhaps, you know, we have these other things that we have at our disposal to see how we go forward. Because I just don't know. I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know what he's doing, what he's taking, you know.
We did already as part of the PTI, and they do want to increase him to what?
Say it again.
They want to increase his level of supervision to YMAX.
Who say that? The felony court?
No, misdemeanor, but this is a part of the PTI. He's already completed the TRS this year, so because of the new law violations and how things they kind of are, they want him to do YMAX.
Did you hear that?
I did. Judge, again, I think that these probable cause statements are giving a skewed picture of what's
So
really
that's
going
right. Let's not put the cart ahead of the horse. We'll give you time. And then if you see something different, just come back and let me know. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
If you need anything, always come back. We're here. We'll help you out in any way that we can. And sometimes some kids are harder to reach, but we'll do everything in our power to reach them one way or the other. So we got you, okay? We'll take care of you one way or the other, okay? All right, it goes with you. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do a mow-up. So hold on, Stephen, hold on. Mr. Poole, I'm entering in what's called the Magistrate's Order for Emergency Protection that identifies SM as a protected individual. You're not to commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where the person works. If you violate this court order, the state can and will file a violation of protective order, and you violate those conditions, I can have a hearing to hold you at no bond. Zero bond, and I will do it in heart.
Now this moment is critical. According to the statement, the situation escalates from verbal confrontation to the alleged display of a firearm, and not just in private, but in front of witnesses. That changes everything. Because in the eyes of the law, this isn't just a dispute anymore, it's an alleged act meant to instill fear of immediate harm. And when witnesses corroborate that story, it strengthens the case significantly. But here's what stands out even more. The defendant was already being ignored and still chose to escalate. That tells the court something about impulse control, or lack of it. And judges pay very close attention to behavior patterns like that. To this point, you can almost see the judge forming a conclusion. This isn't random. It's repeated, escalating behavior. And here it is, the turning point. The judge doesn't hold back at all. Calling someone a complete and utter danger to society is not something you hear lightly in a courtroom. That's a statement that carries weight, and it reflects how seriously the court views this pattern of behavior. What's happening here is bigger than just one case. The judge is looking at the totality. Multiple charges, repeated incidents, and now a weapon involved. From the court's perspective, this isn't someone learning from mistakes, it's someone continuing down a dangerous path. Revoking bond is a strong move. It means the court no longer trusts the defendant to remain compliant while free. And when that trust is gone, the system responds fast. Listen carefully to what the judge is saying here, because it's more than just a warning. It's a reality check. When the judge starts talking about 50 to 60 years, or even life in prison, that's not exaggeration. That's the legal reality of where this path can lead. What's powerful here is how the judge connects behavior to consequences. Lack of self-control, acting on impulse, reacting without thinking, these are patterns the court sees over and over again. And unfortunately, they often end the same way. This isn't just punishment, it's an attempt to stop something worse from happening. Because once a line is crossed with a weapon, there's no undoing it. Now this is an interesting shift in tone. Despite everything we've heard, the judge pauses to acknowledge something important. The defendant is still a student. That introduces a different dimension to the case. Because now it's not just about punishment, it's also about potential. There's still a chance to redirect things before it's too late. And you can hear that conflict in the judge's voice, holding someone accountable while also not wanting to see their future completely destroyed. But make no mistake, this doesn't mean leniency. It means the court is trying to balance consequences with opportunity. The question now becomes, will this be the wake-up call the defendant actually needs? This moment with the parents adds another layer to the story. You can hear the frustration, not just from the judge, but from the situation as a whole. When the judge says things are out of control, that's a serious acknowledgement that the behavior isn't isolated anymore. It's a pattern affecting everyone involved. And what's even more telling is that the parents weren't aware of everything, including another open case. That kind of disconnect often makes situations harder to manage, because the full picture isn't being addressed at home. The judge is essentially stepping in where structure may be missing, trying to create boundaries that haven't held before. To this point, it's not just about the defendant, it's about intervention before things escalate even further. This case is a powerful example of how quickly situations can spiral when actions go unchecked. What began as a troubled relationship has now turned into multiple serious charges, including threats involving a firearm. The judge made it clear, this isn't just about one mistake, it's about a pattern of behavior that poses a real risk. With bonds revoked, strict conditions imposed, and an order of protection in place, the court has drawn a hard line. But at the same time, there's still an effort to evaluate and potentially redirect the defendant's future. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think the judge made the right call here? Was this the necessary wake-up call, or should there have been a different approach?